Each year, about 10 million animals are harmed by abuse or neglect. That's one animal every 3 seconds. Animal cruelty, as defined by the Humane Society, can either be deliberate abuse or simply the failure to take care of an animal. No matter how it is performed, animal cruelty is something that must be stopped. While animal cruelty is a threatening, saddening, complex issue, all hope is not lost if we learn about the causes, effects, and solutions. Animal abuse and cruelty plays a much bigger role in our society and its future than what many people may realize. The first and most obvious victims of animal abuse are the animals themselves. When behaving around animals and other living things, it's important to remember that they are conscious and feel pain just like we do. However, these effects extend far beyond the direct victims. When abuse occurs, it creates a wave. That is to say that each and every time that something or someone is abused, it leads to another occurrence in the future. In homes containing animal abuse, children are often exposed to the deliberate acts of violence committed. In fact, according to the Wisconsin Humane Society, children who witness such abuse are 3 times more likely to abuse animals and, later in life, play a role in an abusive relationship. Since young children are so impressionable, witnessing acts of abuse or negligence early on in life can lead to ignorance on the subject, as well as a lack of empathy for animals and surroundings in general. In countries throughout Asia, according to independent newspaper, animals, even common domestic ones like dogs and cats, are raised in poor conditions and then often bled out or skinned for meat or fur. Animal abuse also coincides with things that are sometimes even more serious. For example, in dogfighting and cockfighting rings, it is not rare for serious drug running and/or drug cartels to be participating and betting at all the fights. Although animal cruelty is often not an issue taken seriously, the effects stretch from Asia to the United States and they change our lives in ways we may not imagine. As stated before, causes of animal abuse often stem from earlier incidents in a person's childhood, such as witnessing animal abuse themselves. However, this is only the beginning of causes or reasons as to why someone may be neglecting or harming animals. The first reason is that people may believe animals either don't deserve their respect or can't feel pain on the level that we do. Although both of these reasons are matters of miseducation or a lack of education, these are some of the biggest reasons that people may be abusing animals, especially in third world countries. Other people, as opposed to have witnessed abuse, are victims of abuse themselves. Victims of abuse and violence often either come to believe that this behavior is either acceptable or they simply need a place to vent their frustrations and anger. Another huge reason that people abuse animals is to reap the benefits that they have to offer. As I said before, animals are raised under terrible conditions, slaughtered brutally, and given short, cruel lives because it is the most time efficient and cost efficient manner of taking their fur, meat, and other parts. Although animal cruelty is a large, plaguing issue, it isn't unstoppable by any means. The biggest group fighting for animal rights and protection is the Humane Society of the United States. The Humane Society of the United States, in addition to saving thousands of animal lives, publishes a children's magazine called Kind Magazine, helping to educate children early on the issues surrounding animals. They also offer a learning program called Mission Humane, which teaches children things that they can do in their society to help animals in need. The American Society for the Prevention of the Cruelty to Animals, ASPCA, while being a smaller organization, is zoned in on animal abuse in particular as opposed to animal rights. Last year, 10,578 animals were rescued by the ASPCA, and 4,232 were rescued from direct harm. These two groups, in addition to many other small ones, are making humongous differences for the fight against animal cruelty. Government funding for these programs or creating a new program against animal abuse is an effective way that politics can help fight. Another way is to have education on animals and how to treat them as a mandatory issue reviewed in schools nationally. In addition to groups and organizations, along with political changes, each and every one of us can make a difference to work towards stopping animal abuse and cruelty. As stated by the American Humane Organization, some sure signs of animal neglect can be a lack of shelter, a collar that is too tight, a lack of grooming, mange, or starvation. If you see any of these signs on an animal, it is a good idea to report it to your local animal control organization. Doing this can both help take care of animal abusers on the streets, and even take criminals off the streets involved with other crimes that can pose a direct threat to your safety. Another way to get help is to get involved with organizations that fight animal cruelty. No organization is anything without people working. Animal cruelty or animal abuse is an issue that is far larger and affects many more of us in ways that we can never imagine. It extends far beyond simply hurting an animal. People that witness animal abuse on a regular basis are far more likely to take part in an abusive relationship in the future. Drugs and more serious crimes are often associated with organized animal cruelty rings. Although the problem is serious, there are many things that we can do politically, in groups, and even individually to work towards stopping the problem.